I was reading an article in Forbes magazine said, 80% of small businesses are solo ventures, right? So it's not uncommon,
Mhm.
but in an industry where you hear, things, phrases like recruit or die, you got to recruit to survive in this industry. And you said, again, that's not for me, that's not my norm. What pushed you to kind of stay in that solo space versus just getting out here, grabbing a bunch of agents and building out an agency?
I have had that experience, right? So when I was with America, I had a pretty decent sized team, and they were all self sourced. I didn't buy any leads for recruits either. I was talking to people about what I was doing, and some people were like, "Well, I want to do that too." So I was able to get people licensed under me. My husband and I, we were at the division level in the Primerica space, but it was a lot on me, to be honest, because I was nearly
Mhm.
burnt out because I was
Yeah,
an active producer. I mean, I was out there serving clients myself, and then I was out there training up agents. And I did learn a lot in growing in leadership. I did also build great relationships with my downline and, of course, my upline because they were excited about all the production that was coming through. But I've been in that space. And one of the things that I've never stopped doing is being a leader, is sharing good information. So I've had, even recently, I would say in the last 5 years, when I got contracted with Transamerica, I had some people that were in other agencies, and they were seeing how I was able to do book projects. They were seeing how I was able to get paid speaking engagements. And they were like, "How are you doing all this outside business activity and your agency is not, telling you you can't, you got to pick,
right,
you can't do all of
right.
that." And so it took me a while to find an agency that didn't have an OBA rule that put me in a box. And
Yeah,
so that's why some of the women over the years have had come up under me when I was with Transamerica. They had come over there not because I was actively recruiting, but because they were seeing how I was moving in the social media space, and they were seeing how I was moving in the community, and they were like, "I know she's an agent. How was she able to do all this other stuff and nobody's like making her shut it down?" And that's when I was telling them like that I had found an opportunity where they didn't care what I was doing outside of there, as long as I was ethical and I wasn't, doing anything I didn't have
right,
any business doing. Because they knew that if I went and did that it would bring leads. So why would
yeah,
they stifle me from doing a book project when it's going to make me look like more of an expert, and it's going to bring me more leads? Why would they say I can't do a speaking engagement, paid or unpaid, if it's going to bring me leads? So I just had to believe that, recruiting, I don't actively recruit. I can if I choose to, but I don't. And the other thing is, like I just said, community collaboration over competition.
yeah.
So I will bring anyone under my wing and show them what I know. I don't have to get a what do you call it, a override off of what I've taught you to do just to be able to show you how to be in this business. So at the end of the day, I feel like we always have to be in the idea of leveraging our relationships, not using people, leveraging your relationships. At the end of the day, that's what I've been able to do with the book projects, with creating my own speaking engagements for other people to come and eat, and watching this industry evolve in a way where I don't have to be a backbiter. I don't have to
Mhm.
talk bad about anybody. I'm just here to and educate, to mentor, to empower. And that can look like a bunch of different things.
Right. So you mentioned, Black women. One of the things that, I started to show off with is we interview agents that are having an impact in community culture and industry. And, one of the things that we discuss when we talk on the phone is your support of Black women in the industry. Talk a little bit about that. What does that look like?
Oh, absolutely. So what I was just sharing about, I probably had about maybe six agents under me at Transamerica at any given time. Now, mind you, I didn't recruit them. They came to me. They said, "Girl, I see how you moving. What are you doing?" And so I was like, "Oh, well, you got to put your license over here, and then they'll train you and they'll teach you all the things." Because a lot of these people were saying that they had their licenses with different brokerages and that they weren't getting the training as an
Right.
independent. So I'm like, okay, well, there are some independent agencies that will train and do the back office work and allow you to do outside business activity. And now you have multiple streams and they're not stifling you, and you have the support that you need. So it was really like a referral. It was really like, hey, I know a place that you can do all
Mhm.
these things and they're not going to stifle you. So ironically, all these women that came up under me were Black women licensed in various states. And they were like, you gotta put me down. You gotta help me do this. And so I would. And to be honest, a lot of them are in my book projects.
Nice.
Because I'm
Okay.
like, okay, well, you need more exposure, contribute to this book. Tell us what you do. Give us your perspective. And so I've always felt like if I have an opportunity, I'm going to tell somebody about it. It's up to them what they do with it. You know what I mean? It's no hard sales tactic at all. It's I'm trying to be what I needed when I came into this business in
Yeah.
2009. I needed mentoring, I needed some coaching, I needed some a self-esteem boost, I needed leadership. I needed to know systems and processes. I needed to know that you serve your clients, right? You build relationships with them and not just sell to them. And I didn't know how to do that. So I needed leadership to show me. And so once I saw that that worked, I became that.
Hmm. Hmm. We're starting to see more Black women into the industry. Why do
Mhm.
you think that is?
I think because we're naturally empathetic people, I think that we naturally want to take something and make it bigger or better and work well. I think that we're naturally relationship builders. We love doing stuff together with others. And so when you put that mix together in a sales environment, your peers respect that. Your clients feel like they're being seen and heard and related to. And I feel like that's what works, at least for the
Right.
women that I've been able to be around, be mentored by, and to mentor as well. They have that common thread. Like they love what they do and they have to pay their bills as well, but they're not out here leading with how much commission they're gonna make. It
Yes.
comes. It definitely comes. Like when you're doing the right things for the right reasons, that money comes. And I would like to say, something about how we need to balance that because I was really, really sick a couple years ago. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. I thought I was doing well. My business was fine. My marriage was fine. My kids were growing up and out. I had a grandson on the way, and my body and mind crashed at the same time. Now, this was before the pandemic. So I had been struggling for like 2 years straight trying to get my well being together. And then the pandemic hit, and then everybody was shut in. And so that didn't help me that way. But I said all that to say is that I was so focused on the impact that I could make. I was so focused on being an example for my kids and grandkids that I was wearing myself out. And so when I got
Mm.
sat down physically and mentally, when I got sat down and I was frustrated about it because I'm like, I'm part breadwinner in this house. I can't just be sitting down, but my mind and body was like, oh, you will. You will sit down. And so from 2019 to probably about, let me see, what was that? About 2020, no, 2022. Yeah, till about 2022, my income was in the toilet. Like when
Mhm.
I really got down, I had to file short-term disability. Shout out to the benefits
Mhm.
that we tell everybody about, right? I had to file for my short-term disability and I ended up being on two different types of short-term for two different illnesses. But the point is, I was able to sit down for a year straight and have income. It wasn't what I was making, but
Right.
at least I had something coming in to where we weren't in the streets. But the point I'm making is last summer in particular, I started really, really prioritizing my well being. I was like, I got to get my mental together because I had some trauma. So I was like, I got to deal with that. I want to physically get better. And literally, it's been about 14 months now of prioritizing my own well being in addition to serving others. I have already made 85% of my last year's income as of like last week. I'm already 85% of where I was. And I haven't even done half the events that I typically would do.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was like, I'm cutting down on all this traveling I've been doing around the nation because I was everywhere in 2023. I was like, I'm not doing that this year because it didn't help me personally to be all over the place and traveling all the time. Like it was hard on my body. And so I chose me, and that's okay. I chose me. And now, and I'll even give you the numbers just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. So when I was sick in 2019, I got sat down. I wasn't making no money. 2020, the pandemic hit, but we were starting a book project to help people and do the conference. I made about 17,000 in 2020. 2021, I earned about 38,000 because I was feeling better. People was starting to come outside a little bit. 2022, I made 78,000. 23, 120. And right now, I'm at 102,000 with like 45,000 in pending commissions. And I still got 5 events to do the rest of
Yeah.
this year. The
Yeah.
point I'm making is it took me 49 to 50 events over the last couple of years, every year. And I've only done like, let me see, what have I done so far this year? 25. I've done 25 events for this year, where normally I would be at like 45 by this time. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
again, it served its purpose of getting me consistent leads. Because when you think about it, if you do 49 to 50 events, that means you somewhere every week speaking. Paid or unpaid, but you out there. That
Yeah.
was a lot on my body. So I
Yeah.
said, well, how is it that I chose me, but I'm making way more money in less time? Because I only work 3 days a week. I cut
Okay.
all that down. I
Hmm.
work 3 days a week, and I've only done 25 events so far. And I only got 5 more that I agreed to do. But the point I'm making is, as an agent, as an advisor, as an agency owner, whatever you have your hands in, you do not have to kill yourself to get it done. And my little numbers is proof of that. I stopped
Yeah.
all that I was doing. I'm still building my brand. I'm still creating systems and processes. I'm still collaborating with other people, but now I'm just more selective about it because I get to choose me. You only get one life. You only get one body. So if you wear it out, it doesn't matter how much money, how much assets, what the world is going to say about you. You're no longer here. And so, what was all this about to begin
Yeah.
with? So, I
Yeah.
feel like we got to choose us, and whatever we're trying to do systematically, get it done. If you need help, hire out. If you get some interns, right? They looking for experiences, they looking to build up their resumes. Like, get some help and choose you, and it will not negatively impact your money as much as you would think. You would think, oh, I have to pay staff now, or oh, I have to um, get pay a marketing person to get the leads coming in, or pay for ads. Whatever you have to do is going to benefit you first personally in your well-being. And yes, if you're doing it in the right ways, it will bring you so many leads and opportunities that you never even thought without killing yourself.